Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ English. In the news right now is a topic that shall make us proud. Yes, we are looking at how India is close to finalizing the BrahMos missile export agreement with two countries of South Asia. And these are Indonesia and Vietnam. Now the deal is worth rupees 450 million US dollar. This has followed an approval by Russia. We all know that BrahMos missile system is a joint venture between India and Russia, and therefore, before India could export the BrahMos to Vietnam and Indonesia, it had to obtain permission and consent from Russia, but then Russia has given the green signal. Russia says, I have no problem. You can go ahead with the deal. And this is a milestone. It's a major milestone in India's expanding defense diplomacy in the Southeast Asia. We all have seen in the past how India has also provided the BrahMos missile system to Philippines. In fact, do not forget, Philippines was the first country to which India had exported BrahMos. Followed by Philippines, now we are looking at Vietnam, Indonesia, and talks are on about a future such export deal even with Malaysia. You might be wondering, why is the South Asian region focusing so much on its security? So do not forget, we are also looking at an area which is often dominated by China. China's expansionist ideology. You can call it the 9-line. You can call it the string of pearls policy, where China believes in expanding its influence in the South and East China Sea. No wonder recently in the news we had the Senkaku Island dispute with Japan and China. We also saw the Yonaguni Island dispute between China, Japan, and Taiwan. We have seen in the past how President Donald Trump from America has told Taiwan that you should increase your defense potential and we will supply you with all the necessary arms and weapons. All this is happening because these countries in South Asia are worried about China's expansion. Therefore, they are upgrading their defense mechanism. Japan, a country that had promised to not maintain a permanent military base after the Second World War, again today is rethinking. The new lady Prime Minister of Japan, she also says no. In order to counteract China's domination policy, China's extremism, we have to work on a military potential. And this deal that India is having right now with Indonesia and Vietnam is coming in this backdrop. The proposed deal together has been valued at 4,000 crore rupees. It highlights how India is now a growing market for supplying advanced weapons to friendly countries, which includes India's South Asian neighbors, because India always believes, from 1992 onwards, India has believed in Act East policy. So in that light, let's see what has happened, what is BrahMos, and what are the repercussions of this new defense diplomacy that India is now acting with. Now, all of this also resonates with how India today has reinterpreted the non-alignment movement, a movement initiated under the aegis of India's first Prime Minister, Shri Jawaharlal Nehru, today has been reinterpreted as strategic autonomy. As India's External Affairs Minister Shri Jaishankar keeps on reiterating that India is one country today which does not believe in a permanent friendship or a permanent enmity. India believes in safeguarding its own interest, and now we are becoming a leader when it comes to defense equipment. And on that note, we are looking at the BrahMos deal right now. BrahMos, yes, the supersonic cruise missile, will now go to Vietnam and Indonesia. Now, this is an expensive deal. An expensive deal exceeding 450 million US dollar. And once the agreement is done, remember, do not forget, for GS Paper 2 International Relations, GS Paper 3 Science, Technology and Defense, that Vietnam and Indonesia will become Asian, the new ASEAN. More than South Asian, the new ASEAN buyers of the air-breathing missile after Philippines. Now, why are we looking at ASEAN again? ASEAN was big time in the news in October 2025. Remember, for next year prelims. Why? There was a controversy that India's top leadership did not go in person to the summit, but India was represented in the ASEAN. That happened in Kuala Lumpur. Do not forget, India and ASEAN together have promised 2026 to become India-ASEAN Year of Maritime Cooperation. Do not forget. Also, do remember, in the news, I have spoken to you repeatedly about ASEAN APEC SCO. and the Colombo Security Dialogue, the Colombo Security Conclave. So remember all these headquarters, aims, everything. Yes? Now coming back to BrahMos. BrahMos missile, as the name suggests, is a joint venture between India and Russia. So therefore, we had to take Russian approval. But just now, about 10 days before this development has happened about BrahMos, India-Russia also had the 23rd annual India-Russia meetup in New Delhi. We welcomed the Russian president. Why? Because India knows that Russia has been a long-standing friend of India. Right from 1971, when India was waging the war against Pakistan, and also India was dealing with Bangladesh liberation. Today in the morning, there was another news in the Hindu newspaper, and I have spoken it in my Hindu newspaper class at 9:30 a.m. every day, that Mr. Putin, Russian president, has once again supported India and issued a warning that Bangladesh should not take India lightly. After all, India has a backing of Russia. Both the countries together had signed the Reloads Agreement, don't forget. Today, India is also exporting human potential to Russia. Yes, about 5 lakh semi-skilled workers who will go to Russia. And yes, both the countries are looking at a very important pipeline. That's a maritime corridor that's being developed between Chennai and one place in Russia. Now, quickly tell me in the comment box which place is that. In my Hindu class, we do map work every day. I did show my students the route and the map both. It passes through the East China Sea. Tell me, what's the name of that place which will connect Chennai and one place in Russia? Maritime corridor. Quickly let me know. And on that note, coming back to Russia, India again. With that friendship in mind, Russia gave its approval. Russia said, yes, you can export these missiles to the ASEAN countries, and therefore Philippines and Vietnam and now Indonesia. Tomorrow, perhaps Malaysia. All these countries will be buying BrahMos from India. Russia has also conveyed that it has no objection whatsoever in countries like Vietnam and Philippines acquiring BrahMos. That's a major milestone in diplomacy. Also because it further reinstates that so many countries today are so worried about China's monopoly in this area, and therefore they all want to build up their own defense mechanism. Yes, now looking at Vietnam and Indonesia, they face constant pressure from China's expansion. We know that. Now, the South China Sea is one area that's completely, overruled by China. China maintains various ideologies. One is the China Plus policy. That also includes Taiwan, by the way. Then China believes that Scarborough Shoal belongs to it. China does believe that islands like Spratly Islands, or if you talk about smaller ones like, say, the Senkaku which China calls as Diaoyu. Then you have Yonaguni, very near Taiwan. All these areas are being claimed by China one after the other. We know the battle in the South China Sea. So therefore, all these countries want to expand some defense potential. Philippines had also become the first foreign buyer of BrahMos. I just told about you. The deal had happened in 2022. And let's remember, with Philippines, India had done a deal of $375 million when the BrahMos coastal defense batteries were sent to Philippines. Do remember. Now, the South Asia is also coming in news again and again because of one more conflict that's happening, and this time it's been Thailand and Cambodia. Remember, we have discussed the conflict in detail regarding the 800 plus kilometers border between both the nations. The fight between the ownership of the Pre-Vihir temple, about the Dangrek mountain range. I had showed you the map, so remember the conflict. President Trump claims to create a ceasefire. There is no permanent solution yet, but this area is very, very prominent right now. Now, looking at how India is expanding its Atmanirbharta, self-reliance in exports. After all, we are a country which is planning to become Viksit, totally developed by 2047. So which also means we are now becoming self-reliant, especially after America's tariff attack. In the defense sector also, India believes in self-reliance. Remember how we retired our MiG fleet and replaced it with the Tejas, light multi-role combat aircraft. And now we are looking at beyond BrahMos. BrahMos is one thing India is planning to export, but not just BrahMos. India plans also to export equipments like India-made Akash air defense missile system that's capable of intercepting enemy aircraft, helicopters, drones and subsonic cruise missiles at 25-kilometer range. Plus, India will also tomorrow look at exporting Pinaka multi-launch rocket system. Now, these are all being offered to various South Asian countries today. Philippines, Indonesia, Vietnam are known buyers. Plus, there is also an interest in these equipments coming from countries like UAE and Brazil. Brazil, once again, another country that was in the news in 2025 because of the COP30 summit in the Amazon forest basin at Brazil, Belém, Brazil. Don't forget that. UAE, yes, big time in the news. Recently, it was in the news because, not only because it's trying to create artificial coral reefs to promote marine ecology, but also because it happens to be the top 3 trade partners of India. Can you tell me which are the top 2? I'm saying UAE is the top among the top 3 trading partners of India in terms of the volume of bilateral trade. Then which are the first 2? Total 3, the top 3. One is UAE, which are the other 2? Quickly let me know. Now coming back to BrahMos missile itself. We all know it was created by a joint venture between India and Russia. The beauty is that just like the Rafale system from France, just like the Airbus from, say, Spain, even BrahMos, although it's a joint venture between India and Russia, but majority of parts and equipments were manufactured within India. The idea is to promote employment and self-reliance in India. That's why BrahMos is overall a part of Atmanirbharta. Now created by India, Russia, it is a kind of precision strike weapon that is capable of being launched from either land or sea or air. After all, today we are living in the times of theater warfare. I told you earlier, theater warfare. Yes, it's a product of 1998 intergovernmental agreement. That is, agreement between BrahMos Aerospace, a joint venture created by India's DRDO, Defense Research Development Organization that has a majority stake in it, and Russia. The name BrahMos is itself a result of river Brahmaputra. Remember we spoke about Majuli Island? Yes, the largest riverine island near Assam. And then in Russia, the river Moskva. That's why the name BrahMos itself. Looking at the structure of BrahMos, a 2-stage missile with a solid propellant booster and a liquid fuel ramjet engine. The speed is tremendous. It reaches up to the speed of Mach 3, that is 3 times the speed of sound. Original speed was about 290 kilometers. The upgraded versions have 400 and now we are also upgrading it to reach 800 plus kilometer. So you can imagine the speed of BrahMos from here. Now interestingly, we often talk about Operation Sindoor, the Pahalgam terror attack that happened on India. Today morning I have spoken about it as Pakistan's military general has been given highest civilian honor in Saudi Arabia. We took this up in the Hindu newspaper class today. We were talking about Operation Sindoor. Yes, remember when India had highlighting Article 51 of the United Nations Charter, self-defense. India had also attacked terrorist infrastructure in Pakistani soil. That was Operation Sindoor. Interestingly, during Operation Sindoor, India had used BrahMos supersonic missile to combat for the first time military outfits in Pakistan. And if you look at India's defense export, it is tremendous today. It's very impressive. It has risen to a high of 23,622 rupees crore. That's approximately 2.8 billion USD. For the financial year 24-25, it's a major jump, a jump of 12% from the previous year. Today, India exports defense equipment and weapons to 80 plus countries with various defense supplies like ammunition, components. India is therefore truly moving towards Atmanirbharta or self-reliance, a very crucial topic, a quick practice question. With reference to the BrahMos supersonic missile and its export by India, consider these statements please. 1. BrahMos is a jointly developed missile of India and Russia, and its export to third countries requires therefore Russia's no objection. Second, the BrahMos missile is an air-breathing supersonic missile capable of flying at nearly 3 times the speed of sound. And 3, Vietnam and Indonesia would be the first ASEAN countries to purchase BrahMos missile from India. It's a very easy question if you have understood the topic. Try to answer. Keep me posted with your answers. If you are looking at more interesting topics, like some of my students are requesting a new video on Oslo Accord, Abraham Accord, Camp David Accord, They want to know a better background of hatred between Iran and US, the background of Baloch violence in Pakistan, and the background of everything regarding Sudan, DRC. That's a very fascinating topic. After all, the more you are rooted in current affairs, the better you perform in UPSC. UPSC eventually, majority of questions will be taken from current events. Okay. So should you want any such video, do keep me posted and I'll work on that. A quick reminder to those who are studying for UPSC exam 2027. Remember, we are offering a course. Batch is beginning on 26th December. The course is priced only at 12,999, but here's the catch. Till 27th December, we have the sale on. Christmas New Year sale that offers flat 50% off on this price also. So all the courses on StudyIQ you are getting at flat 50% off, which will prepare you for prelims, mains and basic interview guidance. Imagine a price like that for more than 1 year. A guarantee of selection. Use code SPLIVE and enroll quickly, because although batch is beginning on 26th December, the sale is valid only till 27th. Similarly, if you are preparing for UPSC 2028, start early. Do not miss this great opportunity, because a price of 31,999 will now be available under the Christmas sale program, New Year sale program at 50% off. Sale is valid till 27th December. Use code SPLIVE and at half flat 50% off, enroll in any course you want to. Let us become a part of your UPSC preparation. Thank you so much.